All right. Welcome to the chat, everybody. I hope your day is going well. We're going to get started here. I've got a poll up in case you guys want to give me some input on what you think we should add. We are, as usual, starting with the full scene in view from where we left off. But last week we added some red to the crows, to the windows, and some dark purples. We gave it a sunset vibe. So that means we need to change the water and the metal to reflect those reds. We also need to add some red highlights to our trees to help them stand out. We just got a lot of little things we need to tweak before we'll consider this to be a finished product. And I was thinking about it too. We should probably be adding some red and some darker purples to the stones of the castle, not just the windows. So, toward that end, I'm going to start with the gates here, giving them some red. We are still in the hotel room for those who are interested in finding out where we're at. Still, and you can in fact hear the people in the pool. It's kind of noisy. Hope it's not too noisy. But that is one of the hazards of hotel living. Oh, you know what really helps is when you pick your tool, if you actually go in and use the Adobe Canvas and not the OBS screen. Crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure I pick the right. There's an Ubi giving me a head kiss. Ah! What is this nonsense? Ubi! Yes. He is in the background. But you can't see him, because all you're seeing is the art, which is probably for the best. Alright, let's go up here and pick our good brush. Reduce the size of it, because I don't want it that big. And I'm going to come in here to the gates. You shall not pass. Gonna stop those silly ravens right where they are. Just gonna give us some red pigment to start with. And we'll blend it at first. Tourism board meeting tomorrow. So I'll meet with the board as an official, in my official capacity. And we'll see what we can do from there. Every time I change brushes, it wants to go back to the default one that I had going on, and I don't want that. Alright, let's come over here to the other gate. Add the red to that. Now I'll use my favorite smudge tool. Like over here, more texture. Do we actually get a vote? Hey, it's Steve Gunner. Good to see you, sir. How are things going with you? Hopefully well. Hopefully life keeps flipping back over to that. And I didn't want that. Now it's going to jack that up. Alright, let me pop back over here. Get a little more of that red going on. Do like some of that Gothic flavor to our crows and our gates. And this will be great for Halloween, man. I hope everyone's week has been treating them well. This is going pretty well. It's kind of been an interesting thing. The human resources lady wasn't in today. Stop flipping back over. Stop, 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 stop. You annoying little thing. I don't know why it is doing that. It's annoying. Yes, we did have a great Easter. Thank you for asking. It was, in fact, very nice. We had a pretty Easter Sunday, which, you know, can't ask for a lot more than that. Come over here, start smudging. I'm buffering a bit. Sadly, that doesn't surprise me. Seems like it happens to me every stream lately.
It also may be affected by computer immediately trying to start downloading shit.
It could be. Ubi says it might be because his computer was starting to try and download stuff that it didn't get a chance to download earlier in the day. Which is entirely possible, but it's been doing the buffering thing a lot. So I don't know. Could be something else. Who knows? I'm just gonna take it as I can and keep working as if everything were. I'm gonna embrace, as Ubi would say, embrace the suck of it. Just try to work around it. Gives me a good opportunity to practice humility. Not getting myself too puffed up or thinking too much of myself. Which, you know, a rapid rise to popularity and a sudden influx of people paying attention to me could always go to my head, you know. Then I could become haughty and unsufferable. So, you know, to God be the glory in all things, even in this. Yes, today was my first day as tourism coordinator. It was my first official day. I got my laptop and everything. So that was cool. And yeah. Got to meet with some more of the tourism board members and to schedule appointments with some of the other people that are involved in it. Those appointments won't happen until next week, but at least I made the connections and have started forming those relationships. All right, I think that's enough for that gate. question is, does it really help it stand out? Now I'm going to work on the water. Smoke on the water. Yeah, that's what you needed. The singing string. There's my river. Because it needs some of those purples and some of those reds to really feel like it belongs in the scene. Ah! Stop! Stop switching. You annoying little toad. Yes, exactly. It should be instructed in proper etiquette and behavior, which is to say, do what I ask you to do, stop doing what I didn't ask you to do, and we'll all get along just fine. Stop that. Stop that, stop that, stop that. It's like it's stuck. It just wants to keep flipping back down to that, and I don't want it to do it. And it does it anyway, which is very annoying, I might add. Why are you doing this? Would you please, for the love of all that's holy, just stay with what I pick and stop flipping around on me? Yeah, just... The tool just isn't working appropriately. And I don't know why. And it's frustrating me because I don't know why. And I don't know how to fix it or make it stop behaving like that. It is impeding my progress. Why is it doing this? It cannot work like this. I'll be in my tent. At any rate. Finally, stopped being a total D. For whatever reason, it just didn't want to cooperate earlier, and I don't know why. That's the nice thing about water. You have to have it make it look like a reflective surface, so it has to kind of reflect whatever you've got going on in the sky and the major scenery around it. Otherwise, it doesn't look like it's actually water. It should look like blue scribbles. Which, you know, some people might like blue scribbles, but they're not what I was aiming for. We'll tell you something. I am certainly looking forward to the day we get back into our own place. Because as much as I like having access to a pool, I will say it is terribly annoying when you're trying to stream. So you put the rest of a spiral ham in the Instapot. You now know you can indeed have fall off the bone pulled ham. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And that is some delicious stuff, sir. Hey, good to see you, Malachi. How's it going? Just adding little touches of the highlights of the red and the purple into things so that it blends in more with the environment we've started to create. Whoop! I closed my chat on accident. Nice. Popping in to drop a like, still at work but lurking every evening, everyone. Evening, Jeff. Nice. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. Always happy to see ya. Thinking we should also add touches of that at the edges of the castle. You know what? It would help if I would actually put it on the right layer. I'm not thinking things through clearly. But yeah. Hey, Brian. Frozen ham with the thawed ham. Ours was delayed yesterday. Oh, that stinks. You were told there would be no thinking on the stream. Well, it's not strictly required. You know, no thinking is necessary. I appreciate those who can, but it's not strictly required. We are happy to have Ubi's computer back up and functional. It's amazing how much you rely on things and how hard it is when they're not there. One of the nice things about the way that I work when I'm doing art is that at each stage of the changes, I will basically take a snapshot. And that way, if I need to backtrack, or if something doesn't work out that I'm experimenting with, I can go back to the original version and not be totally screwed. I'll have only lost an hour or so of work, not like the whole thing. Your streams are no thinking required? Yes, that is true, Brian. That is true. Anyone can feel comfortable stepping into your stream and guarantee that there will be no thought required. Mostly because you're doing the talking, so all they have to do is listen. And maybe answer a poll every once in a while. Yeah, that's an ooky spooky tree. Let's give it some purples. Purple! Add some lavender in. Lavender. Isn't that lovely? You could while away the hours, confirm with the flowers, consulting with the rain, and your head be a scratching while your thoughts are busy hatching if you only had a brain. Yes. I could actually sing that, yeah. I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts are busy hatching if I only had a brain. Yeah, occasionally, if someone is really annoying me because they're being, patently, provably stupid, I will whistle that song, just, randomly. You can't accuse somebody of being insulting. They haven't actually said anything to you. Because if you do accuse them, you're silently calling yourself out on being stupid. So, it's my way of letting you know exactly what I think of what you're saying without having to say a thing. Now, the trick is, have we ruined any of the effect with what we've done? We'll have to figure that out by turning everything back on. Taking a look at it in its whole. And see how it looks. Sometimes you do, sometimes everything's okay though. I apologize if you hear kids yelling and screaming in the background. That is the downside of being poolside. I mean, we face one of the windows in our room actually literally faces the pool and the hot tub, which is kind of nice, but on the other hand means that you get to hear all the pool noise. Okay. Let's see if that helped anything or hurt it. Crow, crow. Gate, gate. Tree, tree. Well, you really can't see that tree back there, so I guess it really didn't matter. But it did add something to the river, which is good. I should be more select, I suppose. Dogs were in the pool yesterday. You had to take the... Hey, evening there! Middle guy to the vet because he is swimmer's tail? Interesting, I've never heard of that. Swimmer's tail.
Oh, yes, Rob's here.
Yeah, good to see you, Rob. Good to see you all, my friends. We are the crazy crew. Just a little bit shy. Was it a few sandwiches shy of a picnic? How it was said to me once. That tree could definitely use it. Turn off the other trees and the other noise so I can focus on that one tree. Uno momento, por favor. Yay! Okay. She's gonna do a little bit purple. Oh, should get on that layer. I am on that layer. Okay, good. Oh, it was in smudge mode. And then I'll come back and I'll add the red into it, and then we'll blend it together and see what we get.
A smoothie.
Ha 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 ha. Yes, well, you know. Something to be said for a smoothie. So, yeah. Basically, to answer any questions, I did in fact start my job today. Officially started the tourism coordinator position, got my laptop, got logged into the system. Took them a little bit because they were a little, like, they didn't have a lot prepared. It wasn't really very organized, but that doesn't surprise me. It is a small town after all. So, but it was good. And I got to meet with one of the tourism board members that I hadn't met with yet. He's over at National Commercial Bank. Or National Bank of Commerce is what it is. All right. Click over here. Bring our red. Add a little bit of that everywhere. A little bit of touch there, touch there, touch there. How is everything going for everyone this week? I hope things are starting off well. How were your Mondays? I'll have to look up what swimmer's tail happens to be. I hadn't heard of it. I've heard of swimmer's ear, but I hadn't heard of swimmer's tail. But that's also possibly because dogs, I don't really have dogs. The last time I had a dog, my son was like 4 years old. We had 2 of them, Mort and Anna. They were Alaskan Malamute, Pit Bull, it does sound like something somebody would come up with for a joke, but I can believe it. Some dogs are just so excitable and so happy and do so much tail wagging, they probably wag their little tails off of their hind ends. Stone Jeff trying to keep him calm. Not like it can splint a tail really, so it just kind of has to heal itself. Oh. It's probably me buffering, actually, Steve. It probably is. Just keeps doing that to me. It's like it's got a personal vendetta against me. But there's nothing I can do about it except keep going. Hopefully it will calm down for Ubi's stream. I don't know, sometimes it does. Oh, gabapentin. Yeah, I think that's actually going to add something to this. Let's take a look. Let's turn things back on and see how that does. It definitely added some pop to that tree, which is what it really needed. So even though she's not here, I'm going to take the time to thank Linda for the suggestion because it is pretty much exactly what we needed. Turn it from okay to great. Definitely gave it a whole different feel though. Very different vibe. Oh, you know what's missing is the other gate. Yeah, so that distinguishes that tree. Your youngest pit bull? Oh, that's a pity. I really don't know what to do about the buffering situation. I don't know that there's anything I can do about it. Except push through. Okay, so which tree really needs more help and more love? so that's the tree we just fixed. We don't need that on screen. That one might need next level of help. See if we can't select that tree. Figure out where it's at. Ah, there we go. Give it some love. Because it's definitely hardcore blending in with that background. Pop Trazzies that would knock out a horse and did 0 for him when he got neutered. That's sad. Poor guy. Next time you have to take your younger pitties to have her nails trimmed, Gaba and Traz will have to be given starting the day before. She hates it. She's a rescue. Aw, poor girl. Yours are maniacs when they get their nails down. Have to bring one into the garage, hold a plate full of spray cheese while the lady trims their nails. Wow. This guy took 4 and it was like he had a Flintstone vitamin. When you quit taking it, you had serious withdrawal and worse insomnia than when you started. Yeeks. That doesn't sound like fun. Don't you love it when the medicine they give you, the side effects are worse than the thing that they gave it you to help it with? It's like we were watching the commercial the other day. You know, it's going to help you with itchiness, but the side effect might be death. Like, really? I won't be itchy anymore, but I'll be dead. It's great. Thank you. Yay! Really messed your memory? Yeah. Well, if you're not sleeping, it's gonna mess with your memory. Sleep is part of where the brain starts sorting through and storing things, connecting the dots. Yeah, let's see how good that did. Yeah, adding that red does give it punch in it. It really helps separate the trees out. That's really good. Add some there. May cause anal leakage. Wow. Well, actually, we heard one that tops that, Jeff. We heard one that tops that this weekend. One of the side effects was could cause bowel perforage. So, in other words, it could perforate your bowels if you took the medicine. It's like, great. I'm no longer going to have this problem, but now I'm going to have a whole new problem. Fantastic. Sign me up for that. I want a perforated bowel. Oh, yeah, it does sound crappy, Steve. Good job. Let's get some of that red going on that castle edge. The retail store. Nice, Steve. Very nice. You just suffer at that point. Yeah, there's something to be said for accepting suffering and not asking for more by taking things that are likely to cause you worse pain than you ever imagined. It's like all I wanted was to get rid of my headache. I didn't want to I didn't want a heart attack. May cause strokes, nausea, and vomiting. Oh, thanks. Sounds like a pleasure cruise. Where do I sign up for that? You do the sleeping disorder where you wake up in the middle of the night and raid the fridge. It's called insomnom. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. You'll be here. Is that a threat or a promise, Steve? No, just kidding. You know I love you. And the jokes are good. The jokes are welcome. A little joke goes a very long way. They have open mic night once a month. I've told Ubi, he needs to do his comedy. Give it a shot. Bourbon, maybe whiskey. The dad jokes are flowing like leakage. Yes. That's what happens. That's what happens. Don't let me out with no dad jokes. You know what I'm gonna do. All right. Boop. 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 Ding, 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 dump, dump, dump. Oh yes, we forgot. Yeah, I think that adds just the right creepiness. Hey, good to see you, Linda. Look at that. Your suggestion for all that red and purple. Now we have one very goth-looking castle. We have one very goth-looking forest. Thank you. I'm glad you guys stopped in. Hope things are going well for you. Or at least as well as they can be, considering the circumstances. That almost looks neon with that background. I'm glad you're liking it, Linda. You guys always make my art better. Just by showing up, you make it better. Which, you know, should say something about how easy it is to make improvements to my art. Like, please, girl, you need all the help you can get. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Got one vote in. Do, 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 do. We got one vote. Anybody else want to vote? Closing down our poll soon. It's about 15 minutes until Ubi's stream, which gives us time, if we wanted to conceive of our next painting. So y'all let me know. Quoth the raven, nevermore. I do feel like that's the kind of thing we've got going on. A raven. Well, we do have two, I guess you could call them crows, ravens, whatever you wanted to call them. Just don't call them late for dinner. Well, alrighty. We're gonna call that a done painting. And I am gonna actually separate out the parts, and then I will upload it somewhere and put it in my community post where you guys can pick it up. So you guys can get all the individual pieces of the drawing, and you can do with them what you'd like. The finished piece I will go ahead and list up on my Etsy shop. Oh, so you guys can pick it up if you want it. I'll also, oh, sorry for yawning in your ear. I'll also have it available. This is set to, what size did I put this? I believe it is a okay. Yeah, our internet is sadly crap. So, unfortunate but true. Ah, no, don't do that. Don't reduce the image size. It is unfortunate the hotel is not helping us much with streaming. So, okay. So, let's take that. Yeah. And what we're going to do is I'm going to close out of it, and I'm going to show you something kind of cool. So let's, for instance, that I wanted to create a fabric piece with it that's 22 inches wide by 18 inches, which would be what you get with a fat quarter is what it's called. I think it's 22. Let me verify. Off. It's driving me nuts. But at any rate, it's also covering over things. Plop. Place that in there. Oh, no. Gotta do a couple things to it. I'm gonna ratio it so that it stays. That. Then I can drop some bands around it, pick out the right colors. Not quite what I had in mind. I want more of that red, not fuchsia. Like crimson. There we go. And then I can also do this. You take and set some darker bands of the purple around it. Guess actually I should do it reverse. I'm going to put that at the top. And bring that red background down. You're getting ready to start the painting process in the Fesley Superstrat? Nice! What colors have you picked? Oh, and put back in play the original red that I had. We'll just make sure that all of that's the right color. And we're going to do one more thing to make this stand out a little bit more. Take that charcoal gray. Yes, I will be listing it on Etsy. I will also be listing it as fabric on Spoonflower. I will make sure to post those in the community. I'll pin it in the comments, like, you know, the community posts, so that you guys have access to that. I'll also put it in Discord so anybody who wants it can find it. If that is acceptable, of course. I don't want to be special. S-P-E-S-H-U-L. Special. Bumblebee striped super strat. Okay. Well, that's kind of cool. Imagine quite a few people will enjoy that. There we go. Yes. All right, y'all. I am going to go ahead and close out my stream tonight, and we will see you over there in Ubi's stream, hopefully. Hopefully, the internet will behave better for him than it did for me.
Well, when you get off, I'm going to reboot it.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get off